Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Hey there, folks. Welcome to the show. It's been a crazy week, so apologies for the late start, but we are here. So welcome everyone to the Saturday show. Akaba, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I am doing good. I've had a good week. Been doing a lot of the same. A lot of, you can guess it, Racing Lagoon. And yeah, it's gone fast and it's been cold, but it's been good.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are kind of in a bit of cold weather. So
A little bit. I wish colder. I wish it was the second coming of the Ice Age. Ray Romano, and all that. Ice Age, Ray Romano, he voiced the,
yeah,
come on,
no,
Sam. God damn it.
I remember. I remember back when I was they're still making those movies, or
They are, yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, I was like a legit kid when those movies came out. So
Yeah, it's weird, man. Sometimes it's like things you don't expect to see go, and then some things you don't expect to see still alive are still alive.
yeah, um,
And it's just like a fucking zombie. There's no soul in it, but the body is present.
yeah. Well, what I love is these series where they're like, we're going to do a trilogy, and they do the whole thing of this is the last one, and then psych, turns out the threequel or whatever it was did real well, so we're gonna make a bunch more of them. So, and that's how we got Disney Star Wars, folks. You're welcome. Good night. That's the show. No,
Mm.
no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it almost could be for some people, depending on who you're asking. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
To answer the question, I'm doing all right.
Well, I saw on Good Bad Vicious that you guys broke into the good time you know this past episode. You had Mr. Matt Jarbo himself on the
Yes, we
show.
did. It was a fantastic show. Matt's a great dude to talk to. He's super fucking fun to just have a chat with. And yeah.
And then afterwards I realized, I'm like, hold on, Akaba was on with two Matts during the same
Yes.
show. So
Yes, I was. And somehow we made it work.
yeah, that was incredibly interesting. So, but and yeah, also hearing about like all the Warner Brothers like drama between the studios. I mean, it mirrors a lot of the shit that we deal with, kind of in this sector, as I
Oh
call it.
yeah.
Which,
Absolutely.
by the way, people are now saying like I'm dyslexic or something. Fuck you guys. I choose to spell the sector SEKTOR.
You are pronouncing it wrong. It's sector. It's a sector. You see, it's like a region in which you can be top of and have legends of the sector.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You gotta really like dip like sector. The sector. You
the
gotta really dip into it.
sector. Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
You Floridians are a weird kind of southerner, I swear to God.
well, I mean, you're not wrong. Technically, I'm from Colorado, but I
You've been
am
living in Florida for how long?
for a decade. I have
Shut the fuck up. No, you're Floridian now.
Well, yeah, I am a Floridian. I'm a Floridian that knows how to say words properly. So,
well, well, you're a Floridian with an education, so.
well,
Oh, I'm so sorry, Florida.
I can't disagree with you there. So, you know, the and the memes about Florida are true in regards to that because we're like top of the we have some of the top schools in the country as far as like universities and colleges,
Which
but
is fucking weird because
but
the
we're
crack
yeah, but we're all well, yeah, right. It's
and the
insane
meth and
weird.
the coke and the Cubans and the Cuban cigars
And the
and
Cuban
and the Latins. I can say that. I'm half Mexicano. Chill, gringo. It's okay. Cállate.
and the Cuban sandwiches. So
No, the food can. No. The food's fine. The people. Food's fine.
listen, Akaba. I actually have to ask you about that because about the whole uh Mexican thing though because I was at the Cuban restaurant and for the most part the family is very nice that owns it, but
Mhm.
but the grandfather um but the grandfather I wasn't even like part of the conversation, but I overheard him say, and I quote, ain't ain't no granddaughter of mine gonna be dating a racial
Yeah.
slur for a Mexican, and here I
I'm
am
hoping
thinking,
he said negro, but I have a
yeah,
feeling he
yeah,
didn't say
yeah,
negro.
yeah. That's what he. See, you can say that. I can't because I'm a white guy, and you.
No. Anybody can say negro. Negro is just it's just black. It's referred to as a color. Now, my grandmother is the difference because she won't say negros. She'll say the other word. We know the word. YouTube does not like that word. She means something different depending on what word she uses. And I
So
assume, and that's my grandmother, right? That's just that far away distance generation wise. So the Cuban grandfather for sure, same shit.
so so what
So
you're
he was
saying
being
is
nice, but he
so
does not trust them.
so what you're saying is Abuela loves to throw the hard R's. That's what you're.
Not that she loves to, but she won't fucking hold. My great grandmother was even worse, dude. Holy shit, she was a gem, but woo, woo,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's funny because on the other side of my family, I'm like I can admit this because it's family heritage. I am a registered son of the Confederacy, so that's that side's lineage, right? And even my grandmother on that side doesn't even go that hard. She most says the blacks, but means it in a very polite way.
Yeah. I
It's
mean
funny.
my
You'd think the ones with the Lincoln to the Confederacy would be the ones who no, not at all. Not in the slightest. No. The Mexicanos, oh, believe me.
oh yeah,
Believe
no.
me.
I've when it comes to like Cubans versus like it's funny because with Cubans there are Cubans and then there are Cuban blacks and they get along fine, but when you talk
That's where
like
the real danger begins.
but when you talk but when but when you but I once saw like a black Cuban with facing off like against like a African, like an American black, and oh man,
African American, basketball America, yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they're built different. It's interesting. Like I know people from Africa.
Well,
I work with people from Africa. There people who are black from other countries outside of the US or Canada are built even Mexico, right? Even in Mexico, they're built different. They're
well,
just built different.
well, no, it's not that they're built different. It's more like Africa, like actual Africans do not like African Americans at all.
Not usually. That's yeah.
That's uh I actually I can't one of them. There was once a foreign exchange student who came over, like from Africa. He actually had like a British accent, but he goes, after being here for like 3 months, he was like, "Wow, so yeah, I understand." He's like, are all your blacks like this?" And I'm like, what do you mean?
Technically not ours anymore. There are laws against that, but kinda. Not all, but some.
I'm like, what do you mean by our blacks? I'm like, we don't own slaves anymore. And he's like, well, they're all like into like hip hop videos, and like you know, do all young black men like want to kill? And I'm like, no, not all. I'm like, not all of them. That is a popular stereotype, but a disproportionate number of them.
It's a stereotype for a reason. There are enough that it has become common association.
Yeah. So, and we just got this stream pulled from YouTube, probably Freeman.
Hi, Susan. These are world experiences from people outside of the US. I promise they're not my own opinions. Sometimes they are, like Play Racing Lagoon. It's a good game. That's an opinion. That's mine, but not some of the other stuff.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, no, it's grandmothers are funny. Older generations are funny.
Yeah.
They still, have fuck it in their system. They have a lot of fuck it. I notice a lot of Gen Z don't have enough fuck it in their system, and that's why they get offended. And that's why they're afraid to say shit and push the envelope.
Yeah, and I used to kind of be that way, but like at 28, I'm like, this is too much. Fuck it. So I don't even know if it's so much of
It becomes a different fuck it for the millennials. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't well, like my grandfather, who was my grandfather on my mom's side, he actually just passed away earlier this week, and but he worked in HR for like several decades at like the corporate level. Like he worked at like Time Warner, and like he was 88 when he died. But like I talked to him like 3 months ago, and he basically goes, he's like, Sammy, like, why is human resources so shitty now? And I'm like, well, all those like left wing like kids who were talking at because like he kept up on like current shit, and I'm like, like all those weird people on Tumblr, that were like writing out like trans stuff back in like the mid 2010s, and he's like,
And Polly and Headspaces and Headmates and
yeah, and he's like,
yeah.
and he's like, sort of, again, this is, I do have to commend him. This is like this is a guy in his 80s who kept up with the culture of the internet for the most.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, granted, I got like phone calls a lot of the time, like, what does this mean? And sometimes it was like, Grandpa, you don't want to know, and if you really do want to know, use Google. But no, I with the whole thing, I was like, well, a lot of those Tumblr people, they basically went directly into human. Their degrees were useless in the real world, but then they somehow figured out that they could, connive their way into human resources of big corporations, and that's why, so many other people my age are fucked when it comes to corpo jobs, because the whiners and complainers who didn't do anything in college, they somehow got ahead. And now they're basically sitting on top of the throne while the rest of us are getting the finger pointed at us. But yeah, it's weird. So
It is indeed weird. I will agree.
so
All right, so what do we got slated for the show? How have you been, actually? How have you been?
well, pretty good. I mean, other than my grandfather passing.
Other than that, yes. Yeah.
I mean, the weird thing with that is like I'm sad, but at the same time, like he was 88, so like, and he had some health problems, so it was his time. Um,
He was already on the bonus lap, so to
yeah,
speak. Yeah. Nobody would
yeah,
fault him if he lost in this round. He's had
no,
time extended for like 18 checkpoints. He's been doing good. It's a good run. It's
yeah,
probably going to be a PB.
yeah. And honestly, I think a lot of this. I think after a lot of the social justice stuff happened, like in 2016, he actually told me he's like Sammy, I'm glad I'm on my way out because I'm not gonna have to deal with this shit anymore. He said that to me, and now today I actually had to laugh. I'm like, fuck you, you don't have to deal with this anymore. I do. But you know, um
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
other than that, I'm good. I've been paying attention to this Chinese spy balloon thing, which I don't really even know. I guess they finally shot it down, but I just saw like a second ago that there's like another one. So maybe the Chinese invasion has begun, in which case,
No, because balloons are the least Chinese threat we've had to worry about in this fucking country for a goddamn while. When it's the invasion, it's gonna be fucking Modern Warfare 2. There's gonna be fucking planes in the sky, paratroopers coming down, and I'm gonna about be ready to scrap. Like that's where that would have to be at. Because anything else would be absolutely. I mean, think about just them trying to invade on country. Like, if we're following Fallout logic, they'll hit Alaska first.
yeah.
And then we'll probably have to annex Canada, finally. Good news,
Well,
Canadians. Freedom's coming your way.
well, yeah. I mean, that wouldn't be such a bad idea to just annex Canada.
I mean, they're already been working in the mold. It's basically plug and play. Just make a couple of edits in the config file. You're good.
It's sad that it's the Chinese that are taking over and not the Japanese, because like you said on Good Bad Vicious, we're already living in the futuristic dystopia, but it's not the cool futuristic dystopia where we can get like chromed out and shit like that.
Well, China can be on that because China's real good at math. The problem is we can have that, but it's going to be shitty quality because it's China. And we're talking mass economic scale of low quality of care over most stuff. And I say that running a GPD Chinese laptop myself. When Chinese want to make a solid fucking product, they make a solid goddamn fucking product. Don't ever fucking deny me that, right?
I'm not
But boy,
arguing
there's
that.
a lot of shit that comes out of that fucking country. Holy fuck. Whereas Japanese, it's always been high quality.
Yeah.
Don't nobody send me anime toys from the 80s. I know how they looked. It was a limitation. It wasn't a quality thing. It was the best they could have done. Okay. I got fucking Christ. And plus the Chinese don't make cool robots or anime-ish stuff. They have there's a weird that gene's not in there. A lot of them are still obsessed with the ancient fairy tales and stuff. And while that's cool, until they look towards their own dystopian future and really start putting the pedal to the gas, they got a little ways to go. Although in cyberpunk lore, one of the major conglomerates is a Chinese company. I think it's Kang Tech or Kang Tao or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just that Japan beat them first. And in this case, it's not that Japan didn't get there first. It's that Japan got addicted to anime titties and started to have birth rate decline. Still dystopian, but not as cool.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at least the Japanese aren't like throwing girls in dumpsters, and leaving them on like, the side of the road and the streets and whatnot, because that's a real thing that happens in China.
Yeah, China needs to give up some of its land to just let Russia deal with it and just consolidate and work on improving. But hey,
Yeah.
communists don't like the whole having less thing. As much as they might let you think otherwise, communists hate having less.
Yeah, yeah. Funny how well that's the whole like expectations versus reality meme out there, right? I mean that's literally communism is that in a nutshell. So, but yeah, we've got spy balloons and so I saw a Babylon B headline. You know things are gonna get bad when you have to when even like the Babylon B is like, is this satire or did Biden actually say this? But I saw a headline that said, Biden, I'm not gonna I'll shoot the balloon down once the balloon is done doing its spying thingamabopper. So
Did he
and
actually say that?
no, I guess that was I guess it was from the Babylon B, but the thing is you never know with that guy anymore. So
Yes, yeah. No, we're at a bad fucking uh point with that fucking shit, and it sucks.
I would the only thing is I mean, I honestly Biden is so bad. Like I don't even in Call of Duty, I don't think they could make him presentable as president because right, like they've had Reagan,
Oh no, absolutely not.
they've had Reagan in Call of Duty, they've had JFK for sure, they've had Nixon, like
Trump should have been in it.
like even George Bush and Barack Obama, they could make him presentable, but like but like Biden, I just no no.
Big stretch, yeah.
But Biden would be the one guy.
He was on stage, literally said where like the women in my cabinet are like they're all mostly women. The women are women, and I was like, oh dear lord, oh dear lord. See, at least you could laugh at Trump. This is just sad. This is just sad.
Well, yeah, or you could be like me and just laugh because it's sad because we've gotten to that point. So
yeah, it's I guess I'm still in the point where I'm just kind of amazed that this is where we're at with the presidency, that it's just gotten to senility. How do you say senile, but like the feel of senile?
Yeah, I think senility. I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like that's where we are as a country, though, as a whole. So, um, like earlier this afternoon, I finished watching like a review of this show called MILF Manor, which is
Of course. Sounds like a very Sammy show. Go ahead.
I didn't watch the actual show. I watched a review of the show.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Um,
You just looked for the best scenes and did a compilation on a shady third party site. Of course, Sammy. Of course.
well, well,
I know what you retweet on Twitter. Come on, come on. You can lie to the audience. You can lie to Jesus. You can't lie to me, boy. Come on.
yeah. Well, Twitter. Well, but this show was like, yeah. So we're literally in. I mean, I might be into MILF, but I'm not into incest, which is what this show
You
seems to
are.
be.
No, you. It's not. You might be. You are into milfs, Sammy. Let's set that record real straight. But incest, yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think your wheelchair hungers for that.
That's a bridge too far even for me. But yeah, we have that in reality TV anymore. We have that in reality TV now. So
Honestly, I don't know, man. This is gonna sound fucked, and by all means, it probably does, but I would rather have that on TV. I'd rather have incest on TV than 16 and pregnant. I feel like neither one really promotes a good positive message, but one is slightly less damning, but it still
yeah,
kind of is. It's difficult. What's worse, a baby born in ill-fitted conditions for this world to a mother who isn't ready, or gene destruction? It's kind of a hard. I'm still gonna say probably the incest is the better thing to at least put. If you have to put something on the screen, I guess.
I mean, it's really six one half dozen the other, and yeah, like a normie friend was actually asking me like, how can you watch like all this like Ethan Ralph stuff all the time? And I'm like, how can you watch the Kardashians? It's kind of the same. It's kind of almost the same thing.
Except Kardashians is more scripted.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, which is really kind of like weird if you think about it, because then that means that you know, I mean, in a weird way, Joe Rogan did kind of predict that Kanye would go crazy because of the Kardashians, and he wasn't.
To be fair, anybody who could see the writing on the wall knew that Kanye was about to go crazy. If you had
Yeah,
been following that man's music long enough, it was, oh boy, it was
it was.
bombastic. I didn't expect it to pop like that, but
No,
it's about.
I don't think anyone predicted his career to go DEF CON the way it did. And yes, I do mean that intentionally. But yeah. Who knew that video games would be like our last true refuge from a lot of this world weary, and even that now is kind
Even
of.
that's fucked. There's nothing left. D&D gets fucked, comic books get fucked, movies get fucked, music gets fucked. Indie comic books, like just people doing art communities, like even on the community level, it's all just fucked and infested.
Yeah, I mean, and like, yeah, I mean, and I'm not sure if you saw the. I mean, I saw some people. I mean, chat when I will say this, when Jarbo was on stream with you and Mr. Vickers on Thursday, chat was pretty well behaved. I guess there were some like comments afterwards that were like bringing up all this, Jarbo lore that I wasn't even really fully familiar with. I know about this, about the flagging incident, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just entertainment is just a really weird industry now.
Oh, it
So,
is. It is, especially on the lower end.
oh yeah. Well, and so speaking of video games and video game news, I actually have Well, this isn't news so much as it is a rumor, but
What you got?
so I had a rumor that this has been floating around for the past couple of days that because of the flop that is that was Gotham Knights, which a lot of us, a lot of us saw that coming. But I guess both Games and Rockstar, there's a rumor that the new Suicide game, the new Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League game, is going to be used as like a reboot to reboot the Arkhamverse, basically. And the rumor is, and God damn it, I hate when DC does this, but they do this every 5 years or so, where they use the Flash to basically run super fast and change the timeline of everything, and that's how they change their timeline. And evidently,
Wasn't
they're
that in the
going.
Justice League cartoon, or was that Superman? Because I
Well,
know Powerpuff Girls did that once.
well, they okay. So in in the original like Christopher Reeves Superman movie, Superman did do that once, but then like in the mid oddies, DC Comics decided to have the Flash do that because basically, hey, we fucked up the writing, so let's just reboot everything. So they did that in the in like 2009 or something.
Hmm.
And then they did that again like in 2015, and then they did again like in 2020 or something like that. So they've done this whole reboot thing over and over, but they've left the Arkhamverse alone for the most part up until I guess now they're thinking of maybe rebooting it because Kevin Conroy passed, but which why retcon two of the greatest superhero games ever made? Uh,
The
you know,
money.
I mean, yeah,
No, Sammy,
yeah,
Sammy, you're a smart boy, you're intelligent, and I'm here to bring you offers and solutions. But the money, that's what they would tell you. That's what they would tell you in the boardroom.
yeah. No, I believe it. It's a
And that's all it
stupid
takes.
it's a stupid reason. I mean, and I would argue that you know, Batman, they change voice actors all the time. So, just because they're changing voice actors doesn't mean you have to retcon the whole thing, but whatever. I'm not an executive at Warner Brothers, so that's not my decision. We'll see how that pans out for them.
Bro, if
But
you were an executive at Warner Brothers, I'd try to get you to get me on the board so I could back you up so we could do the fucking Static Shock movie.
oh dude. I would
Come on. That's the
I would
easiest pitch. We want to make a superhero movie, Snooze, about a black guy. Boom. Instant $80 million budget. Instant.
Not just that, but like Static Shock was like well written too.
It was a
So
fantastic goddamn show.
yeah. So and I believe that Static was owned by like Image or something before being uh brought into the DC animated universe or something like that. So but
Yeah. I'm trying to see who would own because
I know
computer I think Warner Brothers just still owns it proper.
yeah, Well, they really should do something with that instead of I mean, Black Adam bombed, but that was, as Matt Jarbo said, because of The Rock's ego. So,
Not the first time. If I remember, and I might be wrong, anybody, there's a video on the internet that explains this better than I will remember. But I want to say that it was partially The Rock's ego, which is why he was no longer in Fast and Furious and got replaced with John Bing Chiling Cena.
well, yeah, I mean,
Because he didn't like something about how much the stuff was done, and then the Calvin and Hobbes movie, which is a weird thing, exists, and then I want
wait,
to say it was his fucking fault.
they made a movie. They made a movie out of Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shaw and Hobbs or Calvin and Shaw. I don't remember. It was the fucking British guy in The Rock from Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, Sean Hobbs or something like
Sorry, I
that.
have been drinking a little bit, people. I wish there was a Calvin and Hobbes movie with those two. That'd be amazing.
I was like,
Who would The Rock be, Calvin or Hobbes, Sam?
Hobbs, probably. Just a really cartoonish, over the top Hobbs or.
Oh, dude, you know what would also make a good fucking Calvin and Hobbes movie? Jay and Silent Bob. Just them as Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Easy.
for sure.
Easy. That motherfucker writes itself.
Yeah, and I mean,
Fuck, I got us off track. I apologize.
no. This is a good idea. See, you've got more creative. You and I both probably have more creative ideas than Hollywood, like making just like endless, remakes of
Because I
shit.
don't have the fear of losing money in me. I'm not a bitch. Let's take fucking chances. Let's fucking gamble.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean that's the whole ironic thing is they're afraid of losing money, but they're losing money because they're doing the same damn thing over and over.
Literally,
So
you fucking idiots. Literally just bring Men in Black, buy it, bring it into the goddamn DC universe, and there's your X-Men to the rest of your people. Because Fox ain't doing shit with X. You could have some shit planned out real good. Okay, yeah, they're not all mutants, but they all fight weird space aliens.
well,
And then
yeah.
boom, part of the DC universe, you have crossovers and tons of potential. Michael Jackson's already been in Men in Black. We can stick superheroes in that bitch. Easy.
Yeah. there there was a rumor going on. Obviously not, it's not happening now because the dude is dead, but like how cool / creepy would it have been if they had gotten Michael Jackson to play the Joker in like, mid 2000s or before he died, obviously.
Appearance, maybe, but I don't think MJ would have been a good Joker performance-wise. I don't think he has what it takes to hit that darkness in his soul to do it.
Probably not. So,
I think he's far too either stressed or happy, and those are usually his 2 points. And it's fair. The guy did a lot of good music, so he anyway. You want a clear conversation? Bring up Michael and Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. That'll silence shit real quick.
Yeah. Black Fulfilla over here is going, dude. To which I say, what, Phil? I simply brought Michael Jackson. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about the allegations or anything. I just brought up, hey, wouldn't Michael Jackson have been he would have been a weird Joker, that was for sure.
It would have been weird. It would have been weird. I will say that it would have been weird.
Yeah. So
we need to bring back Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Oh, well, I mean, in a weird way, Danny DeVito's been playing the Penguin on.
Yeah, but in the movies, not in real life. In the movies.
Yeah, Oh yeah. Oh
No,
yeah.
Sunny in Philadelphia is a cross between the Penguin and fucking Phil from Hercules. Bless you.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I mean, I love It's Always Sunny, but damn, like they've done literally everything at this point. Like, do they even have like? Is there anything left to cover on that show?
What,
Because
Philly?
yeah,
I don't think. I mean, fuck it. They've earned their stripes. Let them run till the networks give them no more. Fuck it, whatever.
yeah. So
They went hard. They didn't hold back. They did good shit to the fucking constants. And so yeah, no.
yeah,
I don't it's not like Simpsons where it's tragic. Like it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like this isn't highbrow humor. We're just happy it works. Like there's no loss.
yeah. So uh, so yeah.
So
I
yeah, interesting rumor. Big if true, I guess. We'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting rumor about the Arkhamverse. And then the only other thing that I've read is that, uh, which I hope to God that this is just rumor and they're not doing this, but there is a rumor that that Naughty Dog is going to make a director's cut of The Last of Us Part Two, which isn't going to
Of course
change
they
any,
fucking will. Isn't
which
going to change anything, but
which isn't going to change anything, but they're going to add 2 more hours of gameplay, which at that point I'm like, well, if you're going to add 2 more hours, uh, you know, at that point the consumer might as well just stick a gun in their mouth and, pull the trigger at that.
why? Why do you need 2 more hours of gameplay? You had the entire development to figure out the core pacing and fucking loop of this bitch. And you want more gameplay? You want more gameplay? More goddamn fucking gameplay. No, 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 no. Metal Gear Solid goddamn 4 had fucking 12, 13 hours of goddamn cutscenes. And like maybe 6 to 9 hours of gameplay, depending on how you good were. Well, were you a sneaky breaky or did you, fucking rush B? And even then, Kojima never mentioned, oh yeah, I should have put more gameplay in it. Never in a goddamn interview I fucking read. And you're telling me the director's cut, the director has chosen, let's throw 2 more hours of game. Two more hours of gameplay. What the fuck is going on at Naughty Dog?
I mean that they have that sweet HBO money now, and I assume that that's what it was. And by the way, I did catch the part where Matt Jarbo said episode 3 of the
Three.
Last of
Yeah.
Us. I listen. People have been saying, okay, Sam, but you've got to check out Last of Us. It's really good. Okay, that's fine. But we all know where this is headed if they're following the game. And
Yeah.
where
It
this is
ends really, really weird with that one DLC. That's where it ends.
well, yeah, but then if they're going where I think they're going, that means that we're going to get into The Last of Us Part 2. And I'm sorry, but that game is a trash fire. And so
No, Sam, you don't get it. There are I've noticed mostly women, so it's not an all women thing. I've noticed girls on Twitter who are like, it's really not that bad. You guys just don't get it. Like you expect too much out of it. And then you go look in their Twitter history and find out that they've only been playing video games for like 3 months. Or when you
Yeah.
go look in the comments and people press them on, well, I only started playing games like a year ago, so I think it's pretty good. Of course you think it's good. You have no fucking basis.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, yeah, the whole thing of, well, you just don't like it because you're a guy and guys don't like to play as, female characters. Motherfucker, Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. For
Motherfucking Rhapsody, a musical adventure. You play as Cornette. She's fantastic. Star Ocean 2, you get the choice. Star Ocean 2, a second story. You get a choice between girl and a boy. Fucking Claude the guy, Rena the girl. I go Rena every goddamn time in this bitch. I don't need no fucking sword of light, motherfucker. Goddamn Aya Brea, Parasite Eve 1, 2, third birthday. Fucking Christ. Oh my. Fucking Regina from Dino Crisis. Jill fucking from Resident Evil. Claire from Resident Evil.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't like
yeah,
playing as girls. That's the problem.
yeah. No, I mean, the
Lightning from Final Fantasy 13.
the the
Ah.
the problem the let me just break it down for the people who are listening to the podcast who might not understand, and maybe Akuma, you might have a different opinion, but the reason why people hate The Last of Us Part 2 isn't because you play as Ellie. No. That's not the problem at all. The
Ellie was
problem,
fucking baller. She killed dudes like they didn't matter. It was dope.
yeah, the problem is they kill Joel off, and then they're basically like, eh, his death doesn't mean anything. His death doesn't mean anything anyway. We're just gonna. His death really didn't mean anything in the end.
And the
So
entire cast outside of fucking Ellie is worth garbage. You spent the whole goddamn game looking for tape, looking for parts, making little bombs, getting fucking stabbing dudes in the throat. I mean, they're not dudes anymore; they're mushroom. But you looked at giraffes. You were a dad, and then you were a dad again
yeah,
because your first daughter died. And then we're just gonna kill at Hove Bond, and because you're now in the son in Dad and Son.
yeah,
Imagine if they fucking killed Kratos in God of War Ragnarok, dude. That dead on fucking that it fucking suicide. It'd be franchise suicide.
yeah. Well,
That's why people don't like it. And they don't like it, and they don't like it because the death was not fucking earned. It was sold to sell a shitty point about fucking revenge that you could have sold just as easily with a character who carries a goddamn coffin with him everywhere. And attached to that coffin is one goddamn more for himself. You could have Cowboy Bebopped the goddamn bitch. You could have been ever so tactful. And you chose to have a goddamn weird sex scene.
yeah. Oh yeah. That was weird too. And look,
They censored Devil May 5's ass crack, but they let that bitch rock.
yeah. It's really weird. Yeah, it's really weird that I mean, it's pretty sudden too how that comes. It's like, okay, okay, now we're having a lesbian scene just for the heck of it. It just felt really disjointed. So,
I
and
thought it was a
then
dude, and the one thing.
yeah, well, and then like they at least try to explain.
Abby.
The other problem I have with part 2 is they at least try to explain like some of the monsters, like uh in the first part, like the evolution, but they didn't do shit to explain like the Shambler or the thing that you have to chase that like chases you around in the basement in that
Like, that's the
parking.
thing too. Like, don't nobody get this wrong. It's still a fucking zombie game. Like, but the thing is, it's not known for being a zombie game, even if it is good, because its whole focus is on the narrative. And then it does shit like that where it doesn't give backstory to all the monsters, right?
Right.
And then it just kills off Joel. And then they tell you revenge is bad. And then credits.
Yeah, one. So then in part 3, they're like, oh, well, the rumors for part 3 is, oh, well, we're gonna bring back Joel in flashbacks, and you're gonna play as Tommy and Joel, and you're gonna have their adventures that happen between, like between the time
So
when
it's going to be an apology game.
pretty much is.
So what you're telling me, as a fan outside of Japanese superhero TV shows for kids, that The Last of Us Part 3 is going to be the Kamen Rider Kabuto of the series.
That is exactly what I'm hearing in the rumor
Fantastic.
mill. Yeah.
In the rumor mill. That I think Naughty Dog has too big of egos to do an apology game. That sounds weird.
I mean, it sounds weird to me too. I don't think they're going to do it. But yeah, well, I mean, at this point, those rumors were like a few months ago before the show came out. I think now that they've got HBO money, they're like, yeah, fuck you. We've got HBO money, so we don't have to do what the fans want anymore.
Ellie about to die in the next game. I'm calling it.
Oh yeah. I think that's what's. Yeah. I mean,
Ellie's gonna die bad. Ellie's gonna die bad.
So the rumor that I've heard in regards to that is that somehow she and the other chick that she was trying to kill in part 2, somehow they're going to become friends, and Ellie is going to like somehow make the decision to sacrifice herself so that the cure can be made. And that's how the game is going to like end. And I'm like,
oh yeah, because that was a thing in that world. That's right.
and I'm like, well, if that's how they choose to like end the game with Elle sacrificing herself, then like that's pretty shitty. Because
I kind of forgot that whole plot line that she had the invulnerability to the virus. I completely forgot that was a goddamn element of the story.
Well, I mean,
Because somebody could have made that a game in and of itself. Apocalypse Girl and Dad, like Leon the Professional, but with zombies.
Well, I mean that was essentially The Last of Us, the first one in anyway.
But the whole thing was centered around the reason why is because she was a lay special girl.
Well, yeah. And it was about, I'm not going to get attached to this girl, and then, oh shit, I've suddenly, developed a bond with this girl who's like a second daughter to me.
I'm committing mass murder. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. I haven't touched Last of Us since like, oh, fuck. You know what? Let me go look up the fucking video because I watched a Let's Play of it. So I'll know because I watched the last episode as it came out. Last of Us. Okay. Final. I haven't gone through actually looked at The Last of Us in full since 2013. Since like August of 2013. I've not replayed it. I've not watched anyone replayed it. I have not rewatched cutscenes. That game has been sitting dormant for 10 years. That explains how I forgot she had the immunity.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, I mean, So I played the game when it first came out on the PS3, but like I had forgotten about like a lot of it because I missed like part 2, and then when I got my PS5, like they had the remastered version. The shitty PS5 version wasn't even out yet, so they just had like the remastered Last of Us. So I replayed that, and then I got like part 2 for like $15 on Black Friday, so like I didn't
Right.
spend a ton on it, thank God. But yeah, what was my point? Yeah, um,
God damn it, Sammy.
my point is they really the first game was entirely about like Joel and Ellie's relationship as father and daughter, and then in part 2 they were just like, nah, fuck that shit. So, and then they're gonna do something with part 3. I'm not sure what, but uh so yeah, I'm glad everyone is enjoying the HBO show now, folks, because it's
Oh,
it's not
Sam.
going to be what you guys think.
Okay. It's not going to be what we think. Okay, you lagged there a little bit.
So
I'm still not going to
anyway
watch
though,
it. If I haven't touched the game since 2013, I ain't going to touch the show.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to either. If I do, it'll be in a binge thing where I watch the entire series at once.
Aren't they fucking an hour a pop?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Christ, dude. Holy shit. I
Okay.
miss when TV shows were short. Made shit more, snappy.
Okay. Well, I might not watch all of them at once, but like what I mean is this week to week shit. Like this week to week shit for a story that I already know how it ends. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't.
nothing for you there.
Yeah. So, um, but anyway, yeah, that's my games and rumor mill. What about anything on your end?
Okay, so Square Enix has officially registered Final Fantasy VII Day as an anniversary day within the Japanese Anniversary Association. Um, so yeah, there's a Final Fantasy VII Day, and I want to die.
Like they're making like a holiday now or something like that. Like
It's kind of not. It's an anniversary day with the Japanese Anniversary Association. So like the anniversary of Hiroshima, yeah, this is along next to that.
oh
It is
wow.
January 31st, by the way, so it has already passed. But yeah.
What is so you because like I've only played like the 2D Final Fantasy games, to be honest, but like what is so special at Final Fantasy 7
It
that
was the
like
first. It was the first 3D Final Fantasy. It was the first time they put their nuts on the gas pedal and advertised the the fuck shit dog ass out of it. Like this motherfucker was advertised everywhere and falsely advertised everywhere else they could. It was everything that had talked about it. It was basically discussed and said to be the second coming of Christ.
oh
And then
wow.
it came out, and it was actually pretty goddamn good. It was kind of weird, but it was really good. It was really strong. You could tell this is going to be a classic. And then 7 comes and 7 goes. And then we're looking towards the future. We're in FF8 territory, and dog howdy, and am I going with it? I was late for FF7, but I was right the fuck on time for FF8, right? I had my fucking triple triad cards going. I was, woo, it's good times. When FF8 happened, everybody hates it. I'm the only person on the planet that seems to like it anymore. And then we go to FF9, which is the Kamen Rider Kabuto, or Last of Us Part 3 rumor, of Final Fantasy, because FF9 was made as a return to ye olden fantasy of Final Fantasy, and they made it about the crystal and castles and knights and princesses and all that shit. And then 10 happened. It was the turn of the millennium, the PS2, and 10 hit, and it was amazing, and it was fantastic. It was a great story, challenge, everything. And then 11 came out, and it was an MMO, and it was grandbastic, and it was the biggest thing. It was the biggest endeavor, and it was a true testament to them trying to be the biggest on top. All this while, Sam, people could not stop saying how good FF7 was on the internet. 100%.
wow.
So we're talking in a span of like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Constant praise throughout, right? Then we roll up to about 2002, and Square releases a tech demo of what Final Fantasy VIII would look like on the PlayStation 2. And do you know what everyone's first thought was? I wonder what FF7 would look like on the PS2. They should do that instead.
Yeah.
And then we start to move into 2003, and then they announce, hey, we're making a Final Fantasy VII movie. And from there, they announced the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, which is to contain a movie, a mobile game, a PS2 game, a PSP game. Wait, hold on. I'm forgetting one thing, but it doesn't matter at this point. Basically, some more add-on shit for FF7. And guess what happened? It was like Christ was coming again, but it was a van full of children that were also Christ. So from there on, FF7 became Mania, and soon it transitioned to where the younger generation that was finally starting to grow a little bit, they were being told by everyone older how FF7 is this amazing fucking game. Amazing, goddamn, it's the best RPG ever. What, 10 out of 10. And those kids, even without playing FF7, started just parroting it, because they wanted to seem cool.
So just like the kids who are now like playing Last of Us, but they've only been playing games for about a year, basically.
Yes. Although in this case, they actually did play Last of Us. And don't get me wrong, FF7 is a good game. It's got some weird writing, but the thing is, we only think that it's got weird writing because the English translation of FF7 was written in like 3 fucking weeks.
Oh,
That's not normal or good, by the way, Sammy. I know you probably aren't familiar on PS1 localization timings. That is hell on earth. And it was all one guy.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
and we're talking a multi-million-dollar marketed RPG. We can only hire one guy for 3 weeks.
No pressure. None at all.
None. So, I mean, it's good. FF7 is a good, fun game. It's hard for me to like come at it objectively because I have such warm memories, it being my first real Final Fantasy. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's good. It's like FF8. It's like I'm not even big on FF9, and I can admit FF9's good. You know, it's just not the second coming of Jesus Christ, and it's hit such a pitch fever mania that the characters are barely characters. They're marketing boys. Cloud and Sephiroth aren't characters. They're fucking marketing tools now.
Yeah,
They added Sephiroth to Smash, and he did the thing to Mario. They're marketing boy. That's it.
bummer.
Yep. And I hate it, but hey, it's our weird dystopia. I still have FF8. They haven't touched FF8. They only mildly touched FF10. Yeah, us versus, but it could be worse. They have not raped the body of Final Fantasy Tactics. They only lightly defiled the Dissidia franchise. Yeah. So FF7 Day, January 31st. I want to die a little inside.
Yeah. I think what they did something similar last year with uh Max Payne Day to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Max Payne, and we thought that they were going to show a trailer for the remastered version, but what do we get? We just got Sam Lake wearing the trench coat, which is cool, but that's the big reveal. It was a bit of a letdown.
It's better than a bad remake being shown.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Let's count our blessings. Let's count our fucking blessings here, right? It's better than something that will ruin the memory of the original game and give somebody a completely different experience, like Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Even if pretty, it Max Payne is one of those things where I think the originals are vital to its identity.
Yeah,
they could do it right. They could, yes. I'll say that just real quickly. Preface: they could do it good, but boy howdy, it's also possible for them to do it real bad.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the Mafia remake was as good as it is. And I
when
think
did the Mafia remake come out?
The Mafia remake came out. I think let's see. I think it came out in 2020.
Oh fuck! I missed that. I need to go fucking play that. Mafia was a cool game,
dude. The Mafia remake is
better than Mafia 3.
It's okay. It's Mafia 3, but if they had actually fit graphically, it looks like okay. Graphically, it looks like Mafia 3. However, unlike Mafia 3, the Mafia remake actually fucking is playable and is actually really enjoyable. And yes, unfortunately, there's still that annoying ass racing scene, and yes, it is still difficult as fuck. But if you know how to drive, if you know how to kind of cheat, you can kind of rig it a little bit.
You know what game has a really good racing scene in it?
Racing Lagoon?
Yeah, it's the whole goddamn game. It's fucking fantastic. Go play it. But yeah, no, it's well, at least the remake is good since 3 was a big old flop.
Yeah, part of that was because I guess Hangar 13 was like, hey, the PS4 came out. We need something, and we actually need it yesterday. But so hey, can you just cram it in? And for some reason, we're not going to do a Mafia game about the Sicilians. No, we're going to get into racial identity politics of the 1960s because that
go ahead.
Because that somehow is really tied to the Mafia history in this country.
Look, you can't have a game about the mafia if you don't have Italians from New Jersey, gold rings, gabagool. There are certain elements to a mafia story. I can't go and tell like this really, really dope ass, like fucking hardcore classic film styled Yakuza movie about, some guys who play Street Fighter in Montreal, Canada. It's not gonna really, it's not gonna
Yeah,
connect.
I mean, to be fair,
And how hard it is to be a Blanca player in Montreal.
to be fair,
That was a joke for like two people. Go ahead.
the premise of Mafia 3 isn't bad in and of itself, which is, you're a black Vietnam vet who comes home, and basically your family, kind of your crew, basically gets like massacred by the Italian mafia, and so it's like a revenge thing. Not a bad premise, but that's not the same thing as
That's a
Mafia.
cool game. Yeah,
Yeah,
you were saying it's not the same thing as Mo. Yeah, it's a cool game.
yeah,
It's a John Wick style premise, and John Wick showed you can do something so simple, very, very fucking easy. But that game bred itself on being something in particular.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, and it tried to establish itself as like part of a. I mean, the whole thing with Mafia is it's supposed to be a telling of the Italian American Mafia, and then 3
Yeah.
comes out and it it keeps enough of some of the characters in there. Like, spoiler alert, Vito from Mafia 2 doesn't die. He actually shows up in Mafia 3. So like he shows up to assist your character, but like that's all he does, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's that's the thing. It's like having the third Godfather game be about going against the family. You know what I mean? You can do it, but it doesn't make sense. It's
Yeah.
not the established identity of this particular series.
Which, by the way, a Godfather Part 3 game would be, if they did it right, could be pretty cool.
They just need to
But
honestly, I don't say this ever, they need to remake Godfather 2.
they
That was such a
yeah,
good goddamn game.
yes, they do.
They need to redo it and make it just
Um
either denser or just a little more complex. It was
yeah,
already a great size.
yeah, I so I guess I'm not the only one that actually liked that game then.
I have a fucking platinum trophy for it on my PS3. You tell me, Sam.
Wow. Okay,
I
yeah.
I ran New York
Well, and Florida and Cuba.
and Florida and Cuba. Was
I
Cuba
mean,
a whole ass section or was it only for the story? I can't remember.
no, Cuba was a whole ass. Well, okay, so the game starts and you're fleeing Cuba.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember, but do you go back to Cuba and run operations over there?
yeah,
Because I don't remember
yeah,
that.
you go back to Cuba, um,
I need to go back and play that game.
and which, I mean, part of that, part of the problem with two is the game, at least, is the story is convoluted a bit. Um, but hey,
Let's be real. I, at my teenage year age, wasn't playing The Godfather 2 for the story. I was
not
playing it for the
neither.
crime and for the uncensored titties. And I saw you perk up, Sam.
Yeah,
I knew you knew. You're like, ooh, he's gonna talk about the titties. I saw that, Sam. That was real quick.
yeah. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
So
God, that I remember seeing that for the first time. The Godfather were like, "Whoa, what the hell? Why are they the only ones doing it?" That was the first question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and
A
then
Warner Brothers game of all things. Where are the titties in Batman? Fuck, you would have
well,
sold more units with that Harley Quinn DLC. Fuck. Take the
well, yeah,
outfit from the fucking animated series. Like, come on. Shit. Losing money.
yeah. They well, it's funny though because because Arkham City got so much shit for the way Catwoman was playable. And it's like it's Catwoman. What what are you gonna do? Like have her
What would you
not be
expect?
are you gonna have her not be like skin tight leather? That's kind of the whole, you know, that's not the whole point of the character, but like that's a major part of it. So,
How else are you going to be a diamond thief? Like, mm. But yeah,
but
no, that's huh.
but yeah,
You
no,
got off on a tangent there.
no. If they somehow here's the thing, if they somehow remade Godfather Part Two, but kept like everything that was good in the game, I would want to play it. But at this point, they're not going to because that game
Honestly,
bombed.
most of it was good. That's a stupid thing. There's no reason it should have bombed. It was a clever little game. And it played good. That was a big thing. It didn't play bad.
I mean, it didn't play bad for me either. I guess there were some like problems that some other people had. Apparently, a lot of people had this problem like where like your crew, one of the guys would like get in the way of your would like step in the line of your crossfire well in the midst of like trying to fire someone, but that never happened to me.
I never had AI problems in combat.
Yeah.
Mostly
S
because we smoked anyone and it wasn't much of combat, but you know.
some of the kills in that game are fucking brutal.
They're Punisher
But
level.
yeah, they're
Godfather 2, go play it. It's real
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, in some ways, and people always complain it's too different from the movie. The first game followed pretty close. Well, okay, it is different from the movie,
100%
but
alternate universe. There, enjoy it. It's
yeah,
Godfather flavored. That's enough. You don't need much more.
yeah,
It can't be better than the movie. It can't. So it should just try to be a good little what it is.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't mind it being different from the movie either
I think
because
movie tie-in is death for some games. Because you're saying?
well, I mean, the movies are great, but let's also be honest. Those games were like those movies were made in the 70s, and so
Yep.
obviously, it's hard for them to make a game, based off of a movie franchise from that long ago and have it still be, I guess, authentic. Like
Yeah.
you're just not going to get Al Pacino, to voice Michael because Al Pacino is like in his 80s now. That's just not
Oh yeah.
going to happen. And so at some
The
point
old Dunkachino at the Game Awards. Yep.
and so yeah, at some point you've got to suspend your disbelief. So a little bit.
How did we get to Godfather?
Fine.
What was the original topic?
Oh, Mafia get Mafia
Oh yeah,
game.
the Mafia. Yeah. I need to go
So
give that remake a shot if it's good.
yeah, but and
But
somehow
anyway, as we were, right?
and somehow we got from there to like Final Fantasy Day.
That was the
Uh,
news.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So following the news, Theorhythm Final Fantasy Final Bar Line demo launches February 1st and contains 30 playable songs. Go play it because the Theorhythm games are really good music games, especially if you like Final Fantasy music. If you're not, your mileage may vary, but good little games. It's due out for PS4 and Switch February 16th worldwide. So yeah, it's a true blue demo as just to demonstrate. Go give the demo a try. It's probably pretty good. I'm gonna save the best for last. Did you hear about the E3 news, Sammy?
I heard about. Only thing I heard in the last few days was that James Gunn made an announcement regarding DC, but I'm assuming that's not the same thing at all.
No, sir. So, Sony Interactive, Microsoft, and Nintendo are reported to skip E3 2023, according to IGN sources.
Wow.
Um,
So the big three then, basically.
I mean, pretty much anybody with stage presence, because we don't have a Bethesda showcase because Microsoft bought Bethesda. PC Gamer Magazine will limp out to the barn with something, as they love to do. Devolver Digital probably will release a video, maybe.
So then what's the point of E3 even? That's my question.
That is the question, Sammy. You are correct. Congratulations, you've won.
Well, I'm not sure. More like we've all lost.
Yeah, no, we have. No, it's there's not much to do. Industry insiders don't need to go somewhere to go test things. They get shipped demos or give code. The general public don't need to go and preview something. They can either watch a streamer preview it or play a demo. It's the end of an era.
Fucking COVID. I mean, yeah, and they had some of the live. I understand they had the live streams and whatnot before COVID, but I feel like COVID gave all these corporate, fucks an excuse to say, "Oh, we don't actually need events anymore." So.
Well, E3 was already on the downturn for many, many years, and many people were saying, "Why do we even do this?" But the thing is that even though it was a convention, it felt like it was like Christmas for gamers, kind of. It was all these big announcements and all this big stuff, and it was all compact to one time a year. So it was celebratory almost, right? It was just a fun experience. And you could watch E3 just for the trailers, and you could be a basic person and just watch it at face value and not understand development or anything. Or you could watch it for the cringe, and eventually the cringe got tapered and it just became boring. And then it became a dick waving spectacle, which is fun to watch corporations do. But the corporations kind of wisened up and realized, why are we dick waving at each other? They'll buy the shit regardless. So we lose stuff. We'll never have any of those amazing Nintendo conferences again. We'll never have Ridge Racer. We'll never have Xbox TV again. And it's sad.
Oh yeah.
It's sad.
We're never gonna have PlayStation. I don't even know what it was called, but you could literally make an avatar.
Yeah, PlayStation Home.
Oh yeah, PlayStation Home was fantastic.
Better than Second Life.
Yeah, they killed that off, but quick. So.
Yeah, no, PlayStation Home was fantastic. I wish they never got rid of it, and they did because they're fucking chumps. We can't have nice shit.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it's go ahead.
The thing with PlayStation Home was, back when the Arkham games came out, you could, as part of the DLC on the PS3, you could literally get a Wayne Manor and like a Batcave home in your like combo in your PS Home thing. And
Mm.
you couldn't, unfortunately you couldn't like suit up in the bat suit or anything, but that would have been cool. But damn, did we get pretty close to that. So
Yeah. And it's that's just Sony being fucking Sony. But yeah, mostly it's the fact that we're in the era of the internet and people don't need to go to trade shows to all report on something. They don't all need to go somewhere to go get the first hands-on to write for their magazines or this and that. The
yeah.
nature of the press has changed, and as such, we lose things like E3, but we gain shit like PAX. You know what I mean? And I think the
Yeah.
reason why Tokyo Game Show is still a thing is just because they care about the culture. That's why they still have arcades mostly in Japan, and even those are starting to wane.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and that's the big difference between Japan and the Western world. They still care about their culture, and we don't care about ours anymore as a society, it seems. So,
and neither do the companies.
nope.
Even the companies in Japan tend to hold their culture, or at least used to, for a while longer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a dull E3. Maybe something will happen. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I think that's the tail end of it. We'll see how it goes after this one, but I don't know if we got another year past this.
Yep.
So finally, in news, this is very special for me. Nice America has announced Rhapsody, the Marl Kingdom Chronicles for the PlayStation 5, Switch, and PC, which include both Rhapsody 2, Ballad of the Little Princess, and Rhapsody 3, Memories of Marl Kingdom. It will launch this summer with English and Japanese audio and English only text. The PC versions will only be available individually. So, if you were a fan of the Marl Kingdom series, i.e., playing Rhapsody, a musical adventure on the PlayStation 1, Nintendo DS, or the re release on Nintendo Switch, hey, we are finally fucking getting the second and third game that haven't even been fan translated. Guys, wake up. It's the Marl Kingdom's fandom time now. I'm happy.
I actually have heard of those games. I haven't played them, but I've heard of them, so I might have to pick that up then.
They
So.
are a weird, charming little RPG series. Go try a Rhapsody a Musical Adventure, the remake. It's or buy a PS1 copy, obviously from eBay, rip it, and then have your own backup that you can legally use on an emulator and emulate that shit. But yeah,
There
no,
you
fun
go.
little RPG series. Yeah, fun little RPG series. You know what else is a fun RPG series, Sam?
Racing Lagoon.
No, because it's not a series, but it is a fun RPG. Anyway, that's all for the news. I've shilled twice for Racing Lagoon in this segment, so we're doing good.
Well, and now you've got me shilling for Racing Lagoon. So
Everyone should. It's a one of a kind fucking game.
yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too is like I mean, I guess the one thing about PCs that are good is that you can play older games. They're not as obsolete on PCs, but I mean, it is a shame when some games become obsolete because the hardware also becomes obsolete.
Yeah, Saturn has that. I mean, Saturn's got good emulation. I mean, everything's got pretty much good emulation. We're all at that point by now, but you know, it's one of those things where it sometimes it's not even the hardware, it's one part, and that's the optical media.
Yeah.
That's why replacing disk drives is a constant focus for developers and fans, because these are going to be the first things that go out. These are going to be the things that are harder to repair, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
me, I know I won't be able to keep using my physical discs forever, so I'm kind of just enjoying it as best I can.
yeah, well, I mean, like, I have, like, a whole thing of, like, DVDs behind me, but, like, I recently had to, like, buy a like, a CD drive again just so I could play them, or no, a DVD drive, but, yeah,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, physical media is getting harder and harder to maintain, so
And the further it goes, the further it will get. Like, disc rot isn't a one in a few thing. Like, eventually time does come for all.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm enjoying it while I can.
That's all you can do. I just wish that they would port Star Wars Battlefront 2, the good one, to digital because fuck knows that the new one isn't what we wanted. So,
Yeah, it's kind of surprised they haven't gone for that. I mean, the thing is though, right now Star Wars shit is so fucked because they can't even get a fucking KOTOR remake off the ground and running. You know, like
no.
the easiest Star Wars game to remake, you can't even get that popped off. The easiest and most popular.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've teased at it for years, but that's all it's been.
I
So,
mean, and it's basically dead in the water with the last reportings on it. But yeah, ah boy, at least we got the originals. This is why I
yep.
prefer owning original everything as much as I can.
Mhm. So, well, do you have anything else or
Um, Play Racing Lagoon. That's it.
yep. So, I don't really have anything else other than just to say uh if you haven't seen Akaba and Mr. Vickers interview Matt Jarbo, go check out that stream
On the
and
good, the bad, and the vicious. Yes, indeed.
yep, give them a sub. Oh, actually, you're oh, one thing I knew I was uh I just remembered one last thing. Uh I did hear a rumor of that maybe Sony might be getting back into making like uh, a second or third gen PSP basically that they might
Oh
be
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rebooting that. But at this point, it's just a rumor.
So technically, they're doing what they're calling this what the third handheld, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's wrong because I have the first Sony handheld right here. You're not going to hear a PSP sound.
I,
That's
I
barely even big. That's a Pocket Station. That's Sony's first goddamn handheld.
yeah.
The
I mean,
PSP is the second, and the Vita is the goddamn third. I need to
s-
set that record straight.
so fourth then basically.
Yes, fourth. I'm sorry. I just had to Pocket Station flex real quick.
No,
I
no,
don't
I
think they will. I think they're afraid of the handheld space by Nintendo. Unless they're just completely dumb.
which
So maybe.
which we've been proven that they are pretty dumb. So
They would have to design it though with it being able to be run and also be a good game on every other console. PS5 version, PC version, because they're pushing for everything to also be on PC. And if they're going to be on PC, why would you buy it portable when there are better portable PC gaming options from Steam or GPD or other companies that I don't even stay researched on?
yeah, yeah, that is a good point. So yeah,
Because they don't have the exclusives to sell the Switch like Nintendo does. Nintendo has Switch 2. What do they need to sell the console? Splatoon 4, Zelda 3, Mario, I don't fucking know, goes to Europe this time, I guess. What it's Starfax. Fucking honestly, they could just announce that they're officially translating Mother 3 for Switch 2 and only Switch 2, and that would sell a shit ton of units just by that alone. You could milk an entire console life out of the Earthbound fandom.
I'm trying to remember because they did have I remember that the SOCOM Navy SEAL games, they had them on the PS2 and PS3, but they actually did have like a line of them that was like exclusive to the PSP as well at one point.
Yes, they did, including even some Korean releases, which were rare.
Yeah. Well, and then also, like, speaking of Star Wars, the interesting thing it was, did you ever play the Force Unleashed games at all?
Yes.
Okay. So the Force Unleashed games were great games, but they also had a PSP exclusive version which like added in like 3 extra levels, and there was like
that I don't remember.
Oh yeah, there was like the PSP version had like 3 extra levels plus a battle mode, which basically brought like the episode 3, fighter system to the PSP. It was pretty cool. So
only Star Wars PSP game I remember is Rogue Squadron.
Oh yeah, Renegade
or
Squadron.
Renegade Squadron. Sorry.
Yeah.
Renegade Squadron.
Yeah, Renegade Squadron was
game.
Yeah, that was
better
fantastic.
Than current Battlefront 2. Better than EA Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. that you want to talk about a game that's broken. The current Battlefield is just
Battlefront.
Battlefield's
probably also broken, but
well, yeah. So
apparently Battlefront 2, the modern one, is good now that they've dialed back all of the predatory shit because EA stopped caring.
Well,
but
yeah.
Your mileage may still vary.
I guess in the last update they finally like made a mode where you can now play as like all the characters that you wanted to, but before then it was loot box city. So
it was that game would have been fine. It would have been a fantastic game if it didn't have that. People wouldn't have bitched if it didn't have the fucking loot boxes, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah,
we'll see what the future holds.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm not too optimistic because it seems like the entire gaming industry will be like, "Hey, that's a great idea. Let's not do that. Let's not do that then. It's too good of an idea. This might actually make us money, so let's do the opposite thing."
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes some shit surprises me that it fucking gets off the ground. Other times it doesn't. It's such a crapshoot now. I wish it was more constant, but I guess at least we're still getting some W's in some places with some of the shit. But like, in this case, what with Sony being Sony, I don't see anybody being able to defend to the board or investors that that's a good idea to go with. That's R&D. that security development. You know the thing's going to be cracked to every which way from Monday. Every Sony console gets fucking cracked. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Every other console, PS5 has gotten its shit busted in. And Xbox was like, okay, we'll meet you halfway. We'll give you some room to do your own shit. Just please don't go too hard. And that's how you get official emulators that you can put on your stock ass Xbox Series. I mean, fucking hats off to fucking Xbox. They're at least smart enough to know, hey, let's give these guys some leeway, so we can at least work with them.
That's true.
They allow mods in Fallout 4. PlayStation didn't.
Yeah.
And PlayStation 4 got busted open harder.
Yeah, which is weird which is really weird because the PS3 like dominated that era of the game consoles. But the
The 3?
Yeah.
No, 360 crushed them in sales and market volume.
What am I thinking of? The 2?
Yeah, the PS2 crushed it. The PS2 crushed everything. It crushed everything. 360 won out by attrition against PS3, but we blew both of them out the fucking water.
Oh yeah.
That Wii made so much goddamn money. They could have released like 3 Wii U's and still been pretty okay.
Well, you know the joke with the Wii, what the Wii was, right? They made
Which joke?
At least amongst my friends and I, Nintendo made so much damn money because people kept accidentally throwing the controllers against the TV and breaking.
Yeah, it was fucking genius.
I had a friend who, shit you not, like, he got in trouble because he broke his dad's like flat screen by accidentally like throwing the, he didn't like have the tether on like tight enough around the wrist, and he threw the controller into his dad's like flat screen. So
yeah,
that happened. That was a thing back in the day.
That was a thing. Yeah, no, it went basically NES, SNES, PS1, PS2, 360. Well, technically Wii, then PS4, and now only because Switch is a weird generational mid, Switch kind of holds.
Yeah.
It's almost like Nintendo just said, you two have the race, we're going to do our thing.
Which I actually kind of admire them for that. So.
Well, it's better for their business. They're still all scumbags, but you know, that's
well, yeah, they are, but like, they all are. But
it's just clever scumbaggery.
Well, yeah,
they knew what they were doing.
Well, yeah, that's it. I don't like admire them like I look up to them, but like you got to admire that out of the scumbags, they're at least the smart ones. So
I think the most ruthless. Think about this, Sammy. PlayStation is in this goddamn race because Nintendo shat on them. That whole thing was a feud to put Nintendo into the dirt. Nintendo then saw the American jump into the fight and just fucking pieced. Like the gift of that black kid just vanishing.
Yeah.
Just gone. And now these two are fucking duking it out while Mr. Moneybags over here is selling Joy-Con drift.
Well, also, this is weird, but like or not, Apple is in the gaming business now too, with Apple Arcade. Yeah, no, I actually agree with that, and I have Apple everything. But even I would.
No, you don't get to. Oh, I have it, but they said no. you don't get to sully
I
out that way. You God damn it, Sammy.
I hear me out. I tried Apple Arcade. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea as a service,
I agree.
but
It's
they
Apple.
well okay yeah no did you ever play Infinity Blade though back in the day?
No, I don't think I did.
So when the iPad first came out in like 2010,
Oh
they had
fuck.
they had this uh they had this fighting game called Infinity Blade, which was basically like it was a mystical like fantasy fighting
Mhm.
game um where you could like it was like a fighting game, also like a choose your own adventure game where you're like a knight trying to like find like reincarnation or something, and the combat was really um good. It was like one of the first instances of like the Unreal Engine on mobile, and
Mhm.
it was really good back in the day. And they did a trilogy of those games for the first iPad, for the second gen iPad, and the third, and it was a really good game. But then it just became obsolete because they pulled it from the App Store and nothing happened.
Mm.
So, and that was like before Apple Arcade. But then they decided to like, but then Apple decided to enter the gaming business, but they didn't include any games that made the iPad or iPhone good for gaming. That's the shitty thing.
Right.
So yeah, Sony's a non competitor at this point.
Yeah, it's weird where we're at with the competition, and it's put everything in a weird space, and even the nature of consoles. But it is what it is. We'll see though
Yeah,
if they do a handheld. I don't think they will. But I don't know. They could prove me wrong. They could be that stupid.
yeah.
Because
Who
Bloodborne
knows?
is still isn't on PC, so they're obviously still pretty stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a console gamer, but yeah, that is a stupid decision to not have it on PC.
That's just free money. That's a lot of free goddamn money. Po- Sam, post Elden Ring, that's a fuck ton amount of free
Oh
money.
yeah.
No matter what porting would cost, you would fucking dividends. You'd get it back.
Oh yeah. Easily.
But we'll see. It's Clown World. Anything can happen.
Well they just okay, so they just released Last of Us remastered on PC, which to be clear, people shut on because it was overpriced on the PS5, right? Those same people who shitting on it, at least on YouTube, still bought it on the PC and were still bitching at the price on PC, but they still bought it anyway because it was on PC. That's genius. That might be the only smart thing that Naughty Dog has done so far.
You're not wrong.
So anyway, well, it's midnight here and I don't have anything left to cover.
I think we got to it all.
So yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for tuning in. thanks for tuning in, everyone. The show will be back next week. We might be doing a few things different, but until then, God bless. God says the great nation. Go play Racing Lagoon, and we'll see you on the next show.
Have a good one, everybody.
So.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.